Don't do that to either of us. Don't stop living because I'm gone.
Right.
And that's what this one is through him showing his anger against someone else. And someone else standing there going, I see you. I see you in your pain.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I sacrifice? But love is hard. You want to choose me, you need to choose me every time. This isn't a one-time choice.
What's great? Ah, the pinky flip.
Hey everybody, welcome into Folklore and Flourish. You're here with Jane and Mark. Today is February 1st. So we are in a brand new month, a brand new season. This is season 2 of our podcast, Folklore and Flourish. February is all about the month of sacred bonds. So check out month 1. It was all about the seeker crossing the veil, the month between worlds. And February is all about the month of sacred bonds, the beloved and the binder. So this is a month all about love. Before we dive into February 1st and what our topic is today, the first day of each month, we're going to briefly touch up on the February topics or overall themes. But other than that, so if you're watching this and you want to know, first day of each week, we will jump back into what these themes are to remind you guys. But February's themes are soul recognition, devotion and loyalty, longing and loss, betrayal and forgiveness, sacred union, love beyond death, commitment, and emotional resurrection. February will have a lot of relationship building, a lot of love, and then some individual work on who we are as lovers, as loved. Both sides of the coin. So it'll be all about that. We have another 4-week spread for this as well. For February, every month will be 4 weeks. Week 1 is the awakening of love. So week 1 of January and February were both the awakening. February's is just the awakening of love. Week 2 will be love tested. Week 3 is love lost and found. And week 4 is love beyond life. So this is going to be a very exciting month. We're going to be able to talk about some relationship stuff, some heavy stuff. And it's all to make us stronger as lovers, as loved, and as partners, and as just friends, just making us better people. Love is what it's all about.
Right.
So we are in week 1, the awakening of love. I'm excited because all the images are going to change now within our...
Right. And then when you said Mondays, you mean you're going to do it the first day of the week of that? Because it's not going to line up weekday,
I didn't say
right?
Monday. I just said the first day of each week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it actually ends up as Sundays. So every Sunday is one. We are still in our winter months. While February is very focused on love, we are still working on our soul myths, our inner work, our shadow work, and our transformations. So we really jump in. We've crossed the veil. We've come back. Now we're here, and we're experiencing love again. So in the final month of winter, February is our final month of winter, and then we start to get into the earth reawakening. But right now we're at week 1, the awakening of love. February 1st is the spark. Today is all about the spark. And our theme is that love ignites without warning. Love ignites without warning, the spark. Our 4 stories are Greek, Hindu, Māori, and Celtic. These are 4 good stories today as usual, so we'll see you after that. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to honor the cultures behind the stories we are about to explore. The tales shared here come from many peoples, lands, and traditions. I do not change these stories to fit modern expectations or to align with today's social standards. Instead, I present them as they were told, sometimes beautiful, sometimes harsh, sometimes challenging. We are not here to judge the past, but to understand it, to listen, to learn, and to honor the ancestors who carried these stories forward. We also share stories from various religious traditions. These are presented in their historical and spiritual context, with respect for their beliefs that they represent. Every culture deserves respect, context, and acknowledgement, and this space is dedicated to doing exactly that. Story 1. Eros awakens Psyche. In Greek tradition, love is not something one chooses. It is something that happens. It arrives before permission. It disrupts before it comforts. It awakens the soul long before the soul understands what it has agreed to carry. Psyche was mortal, born into a world where the gods were woven into daily life. They were not distant ideals, but living forces, felt in fortune and famine, in desire and grief. And Psyche, for reasons no oracle fully explained, carried an unusual radiance. At first, it was admired. People lingered when she passed. Voices softened, eyes followed. Soon, admiration became reverence. Travelers came not to speak with her, but to behold her, as if beauty itself had taken human form. Altars once tended for Aphrodite, goddess of love and desire, grew quiet, and Aphrodite noticed. The gods of Greece were not offended by praise, but they were wounded by neglect. Love, after all, is not passive. It demands recognition. Aphrodite summoned her son, Eros, whose arrows awakened longing without warning or consent. Take your bow, she commanded. Strike the girl. Let her fall in love with someone unworthy. Let her beauty become her undoing. Eros found Psyche asleep. In sleep, beauty does not perform. It simply exists. As he raised his arrow, something slipped. The tip grazed his own skin. The wound was small. The consequence was not. Love ignited in the one meant to deliver it. Eros lowered his bow. He did not strike Psyche. Instead, he hid her from his mother's sight, carrying her away on the breath of the west wind, Zephyrus, to a place unseen by mortal eyes. Psyche awoke surrounded by abundance. Invisible hands served her. Music filled empty rooms. At night, a presence joined her, a husband whose voice was gentle, whose touch was careful. He asked only one thing. You must never look upon my face. Psyche agreed. For a time, love was enough. Yet love lived in darkness, and darkness breeds questions. When Psyche's sisters came to visit, envy sharpened their words. They whispered fears into her ear. What kind of husband hides himself? What kind of love forbids sight? Doubt entered. One night, Psyche took a lamp and a blade. Light to reveal, steel to defend. She approached her sleeping husband and lifted the flame. She did not find a monster. She found a god. Eros lay before her, luminous and terrible in his beauty. Startled, Psyche spilled hot oil onto his skin. He woke in pain and sorrow. I asked for trust, he said, and then he was gone. The palace vanished. Silence replaced song. Psyche stood alone, holding light that revealed only loss. She searched for him across the world. At last, she came before Aphrodite, who set her impossible tasks. Psyche endured them not through strength, but humility. Help came from ants, from reeds, from the quiet intelligence of the overlooked. In her final trial, Psyche descended into the underworld to retrieve a box from Persephone. Warned never to open it, she returned safely. And yet, curiosity stirred again. Perhaps, she thought, if I take a little beauty, I will be worthy of love. She opened the box. Sleep poured out, heavy and final. Psyche fell. Eros found her. Love, once awakened, does not easily abandon the soul it has claimed. He lifted the sleep from her eyes and carried her to the gods. Zeus granted Psyche immortality, binding love and soul together at last. Love had arrived uninvited, but it endured because Psyche learned what love demands. Not blindness, not certainty, but courage chosen again and again. Story 2. Shiva burns for Parvati. In Hindu tradition, love is not always gentle in its arrival. Sometimes it comes as an eruption. Sometimes it comes as fire. Sometimes it arrives only after the world has grown too still to survive without it. After the death of Sati, Shiva withdrew from creation. Sati had been his first great love, and her loss shattered something ancient within him. Grief did not make Shiva loud, it made him silent. He retreated to Mount Kailasha, the high remote peak where earth meets sky. There, Shiva entered deep meditation. He closed himself to desire, to relationship, to the turning of the world. In his stillness, time slowed. Rivers continued to flow, but without rhythm. Life continued, but without renewal. In Hindu cosmology, destruction is never separate from creation. Shiva's withdrawal was not peace, it was imbalance. Parvati, daughter of the mountains, watched him from a distance. She knew who Shiva was, not only a god, but a force. The one who dissolves illusion, the one who clears space for rebirth. And she knew something else. The world needed him awake. Parvati did not approach Shiva with demands. She did not plead for his attention. Instead, she devoted herself to transformation. She practiced tapasya, disciplined devotion. She fasted, she meditated. She shaped herself not to be chosen, but to be present. Years passed. The gods grew uneasy. Without Shiva's union, the balance of the cosmos faltered. Forces gathered that could not be checked. Creation itself began to strain. They sent Kama, god of desire, to awaken Shiva. Kama was not reckless. He understood what he was being asked to risk. Desire is powerful, but Shiva is fire. Still, duty outweighed fear. Kama climbed Mount Kailasha and loosed his arrow. Tipped with longing, aimed directly at Shiva's heart. For a single moment, desire stirred. Then Shiva opened his third eye. Fire burst forth. Kama was reduced to ash. Silence followed. The gods recoiled in horror, but Parvati did not flee. She stood where she was, steady and unafraid. Shiva turned his gaze upon her, expecting interruption, perhaps defiance. Instead, he saw devotion without attachment. Parvati did not ask him to love her. She did not accuse him of cruelty. She did not beg him to return to the world. She simply remained. And in that presence, something shifted. Shiva saw what grief had hidden from him. Love was not something he had lost forever. Love was something that could be reborn, not as possession, but as partnership. Not as desire alone, but as shared responsibility for the balance of all things. Shiva accepted Parvati, not because she awakened desire, but because she embodied steadiness. Their union restored rhythm to the cosmos. From their joining came balance. From balance, renewal. From renewal, life continued its turning. Love had not been invited. It arrived because the world could not survive without it. Story 3. Ranganui and Papatuanuku. In Māori tradition, love is not fragile. It is vast, it is enduring, and sometimes it must be separate in order for life to continue. In the beginning, there was closeness. Ranganui, the Sky Father, and Papatuanuku, the Earth Mother, lay locked together in an unbroken embrace. Their love was complete, intimate, and consuming. Sky pressed against soil, breath mingled with root. There was no space between them. And between their bodies their children lived. The children were many, gods of forest and wind, sea and storm, cultivation and wild growth. They were born into darkness, pressed between their parents, unable to stand, unable to see, unable to breathe fully. They loved their parents, but love does not always mean remaining as things are. The children began to speak among themselves. They longed for light. They longed for space. They longed for a world where they could stretch, grow, and take their own shapes. Some argued for violence, some for patience, some for resignation, but none could deny the truth. If nothing changed, nothing could live. One by one, the children tried to separate sky and earth. They pushed with hands, with shoulders, with tools of storm and sea. None succeeded. Finally, Tane Mahuta, god of forest and living growth, stepped forward. He did not use his hands. He lay on his back, pressed his feet against Ranganui and his shoulders against Papatuanuku. And he pushed. Slowly, painfully, the embrace loosened. Light poured into the space between them. For the first time, the children saw. For the first time, breath moved freely. Trees stretched upward. Winds learned their path. Life awakened in color and motion. But creation was not without grief. As Ranganui was lifted away, he wept. His tears fell as rain upon Papatuanuku below. She answered with mist that rose from her forests, reaching upward, longing for what had been lost. Their love did not end. It transformed. Ranganui's sorrow became rain that nourished the land. Papatuanuku's yearning became fog that wrapped the hills at dawn. Their separation made space for life, but their bond continued to shape the world's rhythms. The children grew into their domains. Forests thickened, oceans deepened. Storms learned to travel. Humanity would one day walk upon Papatuanuku's back and look up toward Ranganui's endless sky. And always, between sky and earth, the memory of that first embrace remained. Love had awakened the world, but it came with loss. In Māori understanding, this is not a tragedy. It is a truth. Creation requires distance. Growth requires space. Love does not vanish when the bodies part. It lingers in rain, in soil, in the living breath of the world itself. Story 4. Angus and Care. In Celtic tradition, love does not always begin in the waking world. Sometimes it arrives in dreams. Sometimes it calls before the mind understands what the heart has already accepted. Angus Og, god of youth, poetry, and love, dreamed of a maiden whose presence lingered long after waking. In the dream, she did not speak much. She did not explain herself. She simply existed, radiant and unreachable. And when Angus woke, the world felt thinner for her absence. Night after night, the dream returned. Each time, the longing deepened. Angus searched the waking world, restless and unmoored. He questioned poets and druids, travelers and kings. He followed rivers and roads, guided by a love that had not yet taken shape in daylight. At last, he learned her name. Carrie Bormouth. She lived near Loch Beldracan, bound by an enchantment older than either of them. Each year, Care and 150 maidens transformed into swans, living upon the lake's surface. Only on one specific day could she take human form. Angus went to the lake. The sight that greeted him was both beautiful and unbearable. Swans drifted across the water, identical in shape and color, their voices echoing across the surface. Somewhere among them was Care, the one who had already claimed his heart. To take her, Angus was given a choice. He could not seize her. He could not demand her. He could only recognize her. And if he chose incorrectly, the moment would be lost for another year. Angus did not hesitate. He stepped to the water's edge and spoke Care's name. He transformed himself into a swan, trusting that love, once awakened, could see beyond appearances. He flew out onto the lake, moving among the swans until he found her, not by sight alone, but by knowing. They joined together and rose into the air. As they flew, they sang. Their song was not loud, it was not triumphant, it was gentle and deep, carrying such beauty that all who hear it fell into peaceful sleep. In that sleep, burdens loosened, grief softened, the sharp edges of longing erased. Love had arrived to Angus uninvited, through a dream he could not choose. But it endured because he was willing to recognize it, to risk transformation, and to meet love in its own form. Hey everybody, welcome back in. You are with Jane and Mark in Blue Box 29. We are in the first day of February, the spark, all about love, and we are in the awakening of love. So love's first little bit of excitement. Today was all about the spark, and our theme was that love ignites without warning. Our daily thread is that across these traditions, love does not arrive by invitation or readiness. Eros awakens desire before trust is learned. Shiva is drawn back into the world through devotion rather than demand. Sky and earth are separated so life can breathe. Angus recognizes love first in dream before waking choice. Each story reveals that love begins as ignition, not fulfillment. The spark is not a promise of ease. It is the moment the soul realizes it will be changed. Ooh. We're in our second year together, and we're in the month of love. So this is going to be really exciting growing as a couple and doing this together.
Yeah.
We grew a little bit in our own strength in January. I think January was tough for both of us.
Right.
It really was. And now being able to walk into a month where it's focused on love. Today is all about that spark. Love ignites without warning. Our lesson for today is that love arrives uninvited. As annoying as that is, growing up and always being told that real love comes when you're not expecting it. You know, when you don't force it. And it is uninvited. How we've both talked about that. So our story of neither of us wanted a relationship when we met. This myth is not about romance alone. Okay, so our first one, Eros awakens Psyche. It's not about romance alone. Psyche's name means soul, and her journey reflects a Greek understanding of love as awakening, testing, and transformation. Love does not come as a reward for readiness. It comes as a fire that makes readiness necessary. You can't stand Psyche, right? The first time
Her story, yeah.
We saw this in January, and then we see it in February. And we listened to it, and you could see how Psyche, she continued to go forward, even though she was given impossible tasks. So she was tested, and she moved forward. But at the end of the story, she still looked. Like, that's what's so frustrating.
Right.
Is that was what started this in the first place. Was you looked when I trusted you not to.
Yeah.
And you had everything.
And you had everything and anything you wanted, you could have had it.
And number one, the doubt. You had everything. Everything there.
Right.
You were simply just asked not to look upon him.
Right.
But you still felt him. You still heard him. But you didn't trust in him. Because at the end of the day, why shouldn't trust him was, what if he doesn't look good enough? That's what it was. What if he's a monster physically? Because everything else was perfect.
Yeah.
So it was.
But she's touched him. What, you know?
So it's all about the looks. That's what Psyche was worried about.
Yeah.
And the second feeling was that shame on her siblings.
Yeah, they ruined it for her because they put that in her ear.
And
that
I
happens
just saw someone post that the other day of, they used to be girls. They used to be cheering girls on, you know, women that cheer on other women.
Right.
Support them, you know, encourage them, but don't give them their opinions. Don't force them one way or sway them one way or another. Just support.
Right.
And how she used to be that type, but she's not.
Really?
Because she's seeing so much of that she's like, yeah, no, I do prefer the company of like guys. Like not anything nasty or hooking up, but she just genuinely has better friends that are guys. Because women don't encourage these days. It's competition all the time. Or
like
showing
you
off.
have to be better than your
yeah,
friend.
And even when they're with someone, and that's what this one is so everything here is good. What does he look like though?
Yeah.
Why won't he let you see him? He must be hideous.
Right.
There must be something wrong. But look at everything else.
Could you imagine going back to your friends too?
And it's her fault. Because their sisters are going to say that. Well, you looked.
You looked. At the end of the day, she did too, though.
Yeah.
It was her choice.
Yep. And it was her choice to look in the box. The sisters for just why do we as women sometimes do that? Those are not women I want to be around. And when I saw someone post that the other day, I felt it so much.
I wouldn't even say women though, people in general.
Yeah, just people in general. But for this one in particular, the sisters, putting doubt in their mind, putting our own worries into their mind, and just letting it rot and fester. And so, love arrived uninvited to Eros.
It was uninvited because he messed up.
Yes.
And hurt himself.
Psyche.
But she was already beautiful, and he had already kind of like something.
And she did fight to find him again.
Yeah.
She did fight for that. And she went through all those tests and everything, but I feel the frustration at the end.
Yeah.
He still looked. But everything happens for a reason.
Right.
Eros wouldn't come back to her when she was mortal. But he was there right away when she failed one of the impossible tasks.
Right.
Which was to just follow a direction. Mm-hmm. But again, no trust. That's hard, is the no trust.
But that's the thing, and I've seen people talk about this within their growth and their healing, is you're going to get the same lesson until you can figure it out and pass that lesson. Whether it's this lifetime or the next, you chose to learn that lesson, so why haven't you? She had 2 chances.
She's like Pippin.
And failed. That's my thing. When we talk about stories like this, and I'm passionate about it, and this story I'm definitely passionate about it, to where this is going to be used in our future books.
Psyche.
Yeah, because of that I get from it. But that's what I like, is I can take something that I don't, doesn't feel good, and I can turn it to be like, you know what, learn. Because that's why we are here at the end of the day. We're using learning. These stories. Yeah.
We're learning from the way it was written, but then with our stories, we're going beyond. Mm-hmm. We're taking that for a different viewpoint for us. Yeah, absolutely.
For our healings. And you sitting on the other side of that screen, like, look at your everyday life and you can apply these stories to it so easily. I know I have. More than one occasion. It does fit in.
Moving into the second one, because of that too. The Hindu one. Love is inseparable from transformation. Desire alone is not enough to sustain the world. Love arrives as responsibility. Awakening, not comfort, but balance. He absolutely didn't want love again. He had lost his true love. He didn't want love again. He turned it away. He burned it to ash when something came up falsified.
Right.
Like, how dare you? Mm-hmm. How dare you stand in me, approach me like this for this sake, after this is what I had. You're uncomfortable. I've lost the most important thing to me. And then the fact that it was simply that Parvati didn't ask him to love her.
Right.
She was just trying to learn who he was. She was observing him. And she didn't rush in when another competition came in, right? So competition came in. She didn't rush in. She observed him. Mm-hmm. And then she was steadfast when he showed his anger and showed his power. And when he did that, he saw her and it was uninvited.
Yeah.
Because this was so ew to me, what was coming at me. Mm-hmm. And I was appalled, disgusted, and I'm not dealing with it. And then to be surprised.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
Because that's what love is. Mm-hmm. Is you don't expect it and you can't. And that's when we At least in my past, I've messed up with that stuff. I was hoping that there would be love there, and then when I've actually felt it, it was something completely different.
Yeah.
Kind of like this story of, oh man. Ah man.
Ah, man.
And it's amazing because he knew the cost of love. The cost of love is grief. Eventually you'll feel
No
it.
matter what, yeah.
And
One way or another.
it's not gone forever. That's not disrespectful to the one he had before. But there was new life. And that's something too. That's beautiful too.
Right.
I think sometimes it's like P.S. I love you when her husband died and it was the love of her life. And her life was gone. Like,
That's
the
how it
life in
felt,
her was
yeah.
gone. And then unexpectedly something else came in. And she was so hesitant of it, avoiding it, until his memory came back in and was like, don't do that to either of us. Don't stop living because I'm gone.
Right.
And that's what this one is through him showing his anger against someone else. And someone else standing there going, I see you. I see you in your pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I will never replace that. It wasn't about replace.
Yeah.
It was, I see you in your pain and I'm steadfast because I've seen what it's cost you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he needed. And I love that brought balance back.
Yeah.
It wasn't her accusing him of anything either, his cruelty, being ashamed of anything. The third one, the Māori cosmology, this was all about the separation is not failure of love either. So moving forward in what we were just saying, separation is not failure of love. It is an act of care. So Ranginui, Papa Tuanuku, remain connected through longing, shaping the living world through rain, mist, and the space that allows life to grow. So there is also love being created in that space, that distance. I really don't envy the deities of these stories. This story. I think that would be awful if that's really what it was.
Yeah.
And that's me thinking selfishly, right? But to be close enough to see and never to touch. I mean, you get why some places there would be more crying. Imagine if the places around the world that we see the most water, those are the places where they're closest or they can see each other. It's directly where the eyes are. And I think that would be awful. I don't know. This story was hard for me. I couldn't imagine seeing it.
Yeah.
And then knowing, though, that to touch it means that all the life that came from it is gone. And why should I sacrifice for that? For
Right.
this to grow?
Yeah.
Why can't you guys find a way? Why must it be because I must be separated?
Mm-hmm.
These stories are hard for me, and it's not the only folklore where the children have to separate the sky father and the earth mother.
Right.
But when you think about it, the earth mother, the mother, all the life is on her, through her, right? Touching her. And the sky father, he's just air, right? So sometimes life will flow through it, but it's kind of sad that the father is that emptiness, that void. When you get beyond the earth, and we're thinking about it as space and stuff. But we have the earth and the sky, and then behind the sky is the void, the nothingness. So it's almost like the father is protecting the mother and all those children at the expense of himself. Because when he lets go, if it was ever to let go, everything is gone. And he's gone, in essence. So that's just another beautiful way to look at the dynamics that we all play.
Yeah.
The selflessness, but the exhaustion that the earth faces. But the void that the skies touch. That's how I have to look at stories like this, because they make me sad. Okay, number 4, Angus and Care. The Swans. I thought this was a beautiful story. It reminded me of Spirited Away. Have you seen that?
The horse thing?
No, not Spirit. Spirited Away. I'll show you it after. She has to pick her parents out of these pigs. She has to pick them out of just regular pigs. You know, and it's like, what? But anyways, this story is different. Obviously, the swan.
Oh, her parents got turned into pigs.
Yeah, and she had to pick them out of, yeah. But this was a beautiful story.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a discussion in his head. I will transform and find her. There is nothing else. I loved that.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that I have searched for you for too long to not do everything I can to find you. That's what he did. You know, stepping onto the water or stepping out and saying her name. And I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm going to find you. And he did.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the only choice. And I just love that this was a happy ending for our first 4, you know. February, the spark in someone. It does go to show you, though, that not every meeting is physical.
Mm-hmm.
And like how we met, you know.
Yeah.
How you were saying that after this story, you were like, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she came to him in his dreams. But then it came down to her, too. She also came forward.
Yeah.
So she recognized him as well. I don't know where I'm going in my dreams almost.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who's pulling me, but someone's pulling me.
Right.
So kind of like how I told you.
Right.
Like, I've seen these eyes before. I've loved these eyes before.
Mm-hmm.
It just took the recognition. It took you recognizing.
Right.
Classic. Classic waiting on men. Always. Always waiting on men.
Because men are patient.
So, also, Mr. Patient, she wasn't the only swan there.
No, there was a bunch.
And they just joined together and rose into the air.
Yeah, it just flew.
There was nothing that would
I envisioned them like flying up like this, you know what I mean? Like doing
on
that
like
little
the
twirl
light
thing.
snow falling down.
Right.
And just that beautiful like purple thread almost going around them.
Yeah.
So I love the last 2 lines too. Let me read those again. Love had arrived to Angus uninvited through a dream he did not choose. But it endured because he was willing to recognize it, to risk transformation, and to meet love in its own form. You love her. How about you love her when you're changed?
Yeah.
Will you change yourself to love her? Because we all need to change a little bit.
Yeah, you're
for our
not
partner,
perfect.
right?
Yeah. If there's something, if you truly love the person, then there's
And that's
something.
not like major things. That could be that I don't like separating laundry or something, and you really do. So we need to talk about. Like, it could be little things of I did dishes on Sundays when I live by myself. That's not going to happen in a family house.
Right.
You're not going to wait a week to get your dishes done. And so it's like little things that change it.
Oh, that was a jab.
No, that was me, because that was my biggest thing when I was single. I would wait once a week because I was eating 1 meal a day. So why would I?
Yeah.
I would just do it once a week. So that wasn't a job at all. It's just the easiest thing for me to think of. Because
that was also a joke.
Dishes and laundry are just the quickest things that build up, I think.
Yeah, and she doesn't like dishes.
It's things.
She gets mad about dishes.
Because those are the 2 things when you're single, that when you get in a relationship, you start to realize that it's not fun anymore.
No, both.
It's not enjoyable.
You know what the most unenjoyable thing is dinner or
Making
meals.
dinner.
Figuring out what you're going to eat and feeding children.
The Celtic one, the swans that we were just talking about. Love is often a call rather than a pursuit. Angus does not conquer care. He recognizes her. Love is sustained not through possession, but through devotion and the willingness to be changed. This just made me think too. So funny because we were already sharing how similar this story was. But I remember when we first started hanging out and you were asking me what I wanted. Because you felt like we truly, we weren't going to have a relationship. It was not that we didn't like each other, but day one, first time we met, I'm not in this long term. Mm-hmm. We can hang out, we can have fun. That was but I remember the first couple of times we hung out and you said you felt like what I needed to learn was how to be loved. That's something that you thought on my journey that I needed.
Yeah.
And I agreed with you. Like I shared some of my stories with you and how I truly didn't know what love was.
Right.
And the things, and we've kind of seen that growing together. And I mean that in some things that we hear are said to people, like by parents or by lovers, and you were just so appalled. Who would say that? Mm-hmm. And these were, I think every single time I've heard you say that, it's been something that was said to me.
Really?
Something that was said to my close friends. And I've seen these things said to other people. And just how vastly different love was for you and I. I loved deeply. Mm-hmm. I loved people, but I allowed it to consume me. Loyalty, blind loyalty, unreturned, without consequences, dangerous.
Oh, 100%.
And so you told me you really felt that what I needed was to know what love felt like, was to truly be loved. Yeah. And you were sad.
I was.
Because you said, and it's not me, like you truly believed it, and I truly believed it too.
Yeah.
So
when I told you that, yeah.
To acknowledge that that's what I needed, and neither of us wanted it to be with each other. And so to sit there and to think that, and I remember telling you, and the reason I brought this up was what that just said, not through possession. How I told you what I wanted. Because you said, this is what I think you need. Now, what do you think? But I said, have you ever thought about what animal you would be if you could be anything?
Yeah.
And I told you how I wanted to be a bluebird.
Right.
And the reason why was because you're beautiful and everyone loves to see you. You bring beauty. You can sustain all these crazy environments, but no one tries to cage you. No one traps you. Mm-hmm. No one tries to own you or possess you. They just admire you. They just acknowledge that you're there. Mm-hmm. And how I told you, I wanted that. And any of you that, you've shown videos, I have the bluebird, the little chunker on there. But I just didn't want to be possessed.
Right.
I didn't want to be a piece that was used, a usable piece. I wanted to be something that we move together. Mm-hmm. We grow, we shift, not something that could be easily moved. Right. And so I just really liked that this was a story that involved that bird. And how birds, there are some that are caged and some that aren't. Some need to be released.
Yeah.
And some you just watch and admire because they're untouchable.
Right.
Because you don't. I have no desire to go catch a bluebird.
Right.
I have zero desire to chase them away. When I see them, I don't move.
Yeah.
They're
beautiful.
I love them. And so that's what this reminded me of, is to love something is not to possess it, not to own it. But he walked in knowing the risk of his transformation, and I'm going to find you.
And he just felt that. He felt her energy.
Because she found him in the dream. Mm-hmm. Whatever it may be, when we feel people, when we see people, we think, oh, I'm calling to them. Something in their subconscious was looking for you. Anyways, those are the 4 stories. Day 1 for February, the month of sacred bonds, the beloved and the binder. The awakening of love, week 1, we had the spark. So our theme was that love ignites without warning. Our lesson is that love arrives uninvited. But our reflection question is, when did love first wake something in me? When did love first wake something in me? I think what always scared me about love, and the reason that I didn't want it, was because I didn't like the feeling of hope. I don't like the feeling of hope around love. And that was something I really had to, and I'm still getting over. Because the choices I made, and I wasn't a great person either, right? We all learn from our relationships. I learned from everyone. Some I was a terrible person to them. Some, I messaged someone today. I see that they're leaving and they're having a celebration today. They were a genuine good person to me.
Yeah.
And I thanked them. Just said, hey, I'm sorry I never saw you again. Didn't want to deal with the drama. And they said they understood, and thank you for being a good person to me. And it just kind of, it sucked. But sometimes that's all you can do. We've been in spots where we weren't a great person. Oh, yeah. But I think that I struggled so much with hope because I had never seen it fulfilled in any relationship. Yet I always, before you, and I think that was a major shift for both of us, was I was so tired of words. I could care less how pretty your words are to me. And you and I have had that talk, and like I'm speaking directly at my partner, you know? So if you need to, like, it does matter what you say to me.
Yeah.
The words you say do matter. But at the end of the day, I will care a hell of a lot more about how you treat me than how you say you're going to treat me.
Yeah.
And that's it of, oh, I dropped the ball. I said I was going to do this. Yeah, but look at all these other things you've done. I'm not bothered by it. And that's a huge shift, is when you see those actions. And while that is someone that when they say something, they usually get it done, I better help them. When you see that. And I didn't have that in my previous relationships, I felt like. Did I voice that? No. Did I destroy the? Yes. That's how I did it before.
And burn it.
And so when you reach someone that has actions, it is scary. But love first woke hope in me. And because it was unfulfilled, it hid for a long time. And it still makes me kind of nauseous when it comes up. So I'm like, ooh. Because there is that prideful part of you that's like kind of ready to fight. Like it's like hope standing in the other side of the corner and you're like, what? Like what? Just do it then. Like that's how I feel with hope. That's truly how I feel with it. Anyways, when did love first wake something in you?
Well, I mean, what I was going to say with your actions and things is like a poem can warm your heart, but it can't warm your skin like a hug can. Like you can talk as pretty as you want, but if you're not showing me what those words mean to you, just like the conversations we had. So I just, that little thing popped into my head and I just thought it was poetic. And so I wanted to say it.
That was really good.
Thank you.
Do you want to hear your task today with that?
I do want to hear my task.
You are going to like it. And then you can tell me later your answer to the question. Anyways, you're going to place a hand on your heart and take 5 slow breaths, noticing what stirs. Noticing what stirs, not forcing, not hiding.
Yeah, just waiting.
Just noticing. Not fully.
Not even waiting.
Not
just
fully. No, that's what I'm saying. You're not fully indulging in it either. You're just noticing.
I did a meditation thing, and it was part of doing the energy work class that I was doing. And when you're going to meditate, that's one thing you want to do, is you notice the thoughts that come through, but you don't give them attention. Because as soon as you give them attention, you're taking away from yourself and your meditation itself. You notice it, and at first you can get trapped in it, right? But after a while, that is one of the practices of meditation, of just seeing that thought and letting it go by, and then noticing your thoughts. That's one.
And the breath work.
It's a really fun type of meditation to notice and to really utilize that. So you're correct. I do like.
Yeah.
I am gonna like this one because I've done it.
That's why I
do
moved
enjoy
on
it.
from you answering. I was like, I think he might want to answer after he does his daily task. Yes, you're going to place your hand over your heart, 5 slow breaths, noticing what stirs. But allowing love to awaken you. We are going to keep it as light as we can in February, especially while we can. New love is exciting.
Yeah. Or
Old love is exciting,
reigniting
right?
the old love into new love, because it is not an impossibility. It's up to you to make that choice. Why did I, and then make an action.
And while it's light, enjoy love, because love is also heavy.
Yeah.
Grief is love. I don't remember what show long time ago, but I loved it. How beautiful is it to grieve? That's what someone said to someone that was grieving tremendously, thought they were going to die. Well, love is fun and the excitement of love. And then we go to love tested, love lost, love found, and then love beyond life, which means that love and grief will be a day that we face.
That fourth week.
That will be a day we probably do a disclaimer. But love is hard. You want to choose me, you need to choose me every time. This isn't a one-time choice. You don't have to agree with everything, but when we're in public, you choose me no matter what. And I choose you.
Yeah, it's not one-sided.
But we have to give each other opportunities. It shouldn't be you always choosing me and I never even get an opportunity to choose you.
And that, I felt that in the past. It always felt one-sided to me.
Like
and it might not have been, but yeah, it was always the choice of me choosing and having to pull the other one back. And it's like, hey, hello, I'm right here. That's how it felt. But then when I rediscovered myself and I gave myself my power back, it's like, you don't even deserve to walk next to this.
I love what you just said, because we do not have enough men talking about reclaiming their masculine power back. Because the flip side of what you thought I needed was that I thought that's exactly what you needed. Was you just needed someone that allowed you to be in your masculine without tearing it apart.
And that's how it was. That's how it felt. Whether it was intentional or not. That's that was the final outcome. That's what happened.
Intentions, it's your intentions were your actions.
Yep.
And I love that you just said that. I really do. And I want to really acknowledge we all should be so proud when we step back into our power. We all have both powers, right? Masculine, feminine, that's not male, female. That's just the power. But to be a man saying, I needed my power back, that's beautiful.
I did.
And I'm so happy that you got that back.
Yeah. And that was the first time I had ever sat with the 963 tribe. The next day, my shoulders were back, my chest was out. I felt like a whole new person, And that was day one. And then, then I scraped my knee because I thought I was there, but I wasn't there yet. And I'm still not, but I'm getting really darn close. And I'm really good at it, so.
And that's why I love this whole month is, I'm going to say it again, who am I as a lover? How do I give love, but how do I receive it? What do I need to feel loved?
Yeah.
Because that's a huge conversation.
Right.
We've had that. Hey, this is something I haven't brought up, but it is bothering me, and it will bother me in the long run. There's no harm in that.
And that's, gosh, man, that could probably
There's only positivity in that.
That could save so many issues in the long run. And I know I have personally been too scared to just say something, where in the long run, it would have been so much better had I. and yet I still choose to be nervous or scared in those moments. Like that's now has to be a thing of the past.
If it's something that could be changed by choice, it can be brought up.
Right.
I don't need to say, I don't like the way you look, or I don't like this or this. Like, in things like, well, I've always liked men with brown eyes when I know you have blue eyes.
Right.
That's not something we need. But to address, to address your partner and say, okay, this is bothering me.
Yeah.
For example, you and I had a very different idea of what romance was.
Yeah.
And that was a conversation we had to have because we didn't even realize.
Right.
We had two vastly different ideas of what it was. Where, mine was heavy, that literature, that Jane Austen romance. And yours was just me being present.
Yeah.
You showing up daily to do these little things, which that is romantic. But we were thinking of two different tracks.
Right.
It's not that we didn't acknowledge that those were two
different
forms,
types of movies.
but we wanted two different. And so sharing that was awesome.
Yeah.
Because it was, hey, I'm going to address this because if I don't, I know what it's already causing me now.
Yeah.
In the long run, I don't want to resent you, and I'm sure as heck not going to hate myself for not mentioning it.
Because wouldn't that suck at the end of the day? You get to the end of the road and you're like, damn, that was pretty silly that I didn't even take a moment to say something, because look at who that person is. Look at who I was with that person. Because I think that's more important. Not who you lost is in that other person, but and I love this saying, is like, you love who you are when you are with the right person. That's when you love yourself, or you should love yourself before that. But when you lose that love, you are like, man, I really loved myself when I was doing that. But you don't realize that that's what it is, and you think it's just that person. No, you just love the way they made you feel in certain moments.
And there were definitely, I think every relationship that doesn't work, we could be better. Yes, there are some where absolutely the wrongs I did were way worse than yours, or vice versa.
Yeah.
I'm not at all saying that some relationships aren't like that.
Right.
But every single one that I've had, regardless, there were some that I was like, ooh, I'm actually not the problem this time. Like, there were some like that, but I could have still been better.
Right. Well, no, and I agree with that, and I've even said that.
No, I was just agreeing.
Yeah.
Right, what you said was, that's how you got to learn. But when it's here...
Like, you were a huge douchebag. Did I help? No. But you were a bigger douchebag. But so was I. And
that's why I say, like, I'm not... If it's something that's going to fester, I'm going to bring it up.
Right.
I've told you that even when I think someone's saying something about me. And I'm going to bring it up.
I love that.
Because I'll come right to you. I'm not going to post beat around the bush of, talk shade, and then say, well, if the shoe fits. No, I'm going to text you directly and say, hey, the shoe did fit. It does. The shoe did fit me publicly, because we did it on the same thing. So I have no shame in that, because you and I have different viewpoints.
And that's okay too.
But I'm going to message you directly.
Yeah, I'm not.
And I'm not screenshotting it, and posting it.
Yeah, no.
I'm having this conversation with you, because then now, anyone says that, I can say, oh, no, I did talk to them. It wasn't about me. I'll show you the text. Because how bold is it? And I want to be bold in that way of, no, I'm going to go to the problem. I'm going to go directly to the person that I think has a problem with me, or that I have a problem with. Because the second you involve social games, it's bad. Someone's going to get hurt.
Right.
So if I come to you,
when you listen to that outside peep, 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 just like in the story, those sisters, peep, 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 next thing you know, there's a huge issue, and then she lost everything. And it's the same. And I know my mom told me, like, she truly believed, had they stayed in Minnesota, where their family is, that they would not have stayed together.
Yeah, you said that because of similar games.
And it's just the peep, peep, peep. And then after they left and truly were able to grow as people, as a couple, then truly were they recognized. But not until they left and were able to flourish in their own way. They struggled.
They chose each other.
But they chose each other, and they chose to grow together.
Over everything, which is what you do in love. When you choose to love something, you know the cost.
And then the unfortunate part is when you grow up with that and you see that, that's all you expect. And when you don't get it, you're like,
That's what I want. But there's that hope with love, and you're like, So love is a constant way that we grow. It shows us the parts we have to heal in order for it. Love says you must sacrifice who you once were if you want to stay with this person, because I love you. I do. Are you the same person I fell in love with? No. The qualities that I fell in love with are the same. But the vigor, the resilience of them are different. The passion behind them are different. And I want that, that recognition too, and it's exciting. And I'm saying that because tomorrow is the recognition. So today we felt that uninvited spark, that son of a bitch. Because that's what it feels like. When you know it's the person, it is annoying because you're in it. I'm gonna do what I can in this to keep it going, and that's how I feel like we are. And I love that. And we're gonna keep it going all month as we go through beautiful things and tragic things together with love. Because another thing about growing in a relationship is to grow in a relationship. It sucks and it bothers me, because I'm a female. You're going to have to talk about who hurt you in love, which means that I'm going to have to hear about you loving other people and how it hurt, and vice versa. That's the hard thing about love that we don't share enough, is to recognize that I may not be the only one that's loved you. Right? So we're going to keep that in mind, keep it light and lovey and breezy, but recognize that these moments we need to think of when it gets tough, because it will.
Right.
But that's all that we have for today, February 1st. We're already in the second month of the first year of our 9-year cycle. Yes, episode 1, season 2.
Right arm.
And we are going to be back tomorrow, the month of sacred bonds, the beloved and the binder, and we will see you then. Thanks for joining us, guys.
See you guys. Love you.
Thank you for walking this journey with me today. These stories are more than folklore. They are the heartbeat of our world building, the inspiration behind our characters, and the soul of the Legends Reborn Chronicles. By exploring these tales, we honor the past, ignite the present, and breathe life into the legends we're creating together. To see more of Mark and I, as well as additional scenes, discussions, and healing, check the links below that will lead you to our various social media platforms. Please also feel free to ask any questions or leave any comments in the episode below or in future episodes to come. We would love to hear from you. Until next time, may your path be guided by wonder, curiosity, and the magic of the stories that came before us. Blessings, and I'll see you on our next folklore journey.